times, or have you, found yourselves ever in this sort of a scenario where you're feeling oppressed, you're feeling sad, you're feeling painful, you want a change, you want to revolt, but somehow you can't. But then there's somebody who has the tenacity, he feels fearless, and he has the guts. And he goes out and speaks against the injustice and fights. That person is a rebel. When we go in history, we find that rebellions have actually made a lot of revolutions happen. But then, the question is, does a rebellion create positive change? Does it enhance it? Or does it actually jeopardize a positive change, happiness, and peace? I'm going to take you through the cognitive science of rebellion, and we are going to examine, we are going to look at certain rebellions in history that have happened. We're going to also look at how those actually changed the world at that time. And then we are going to also see how the happiness quotient was affected by it. At the end, we are also going to then find some ways where actually rebellion can cause happiness. So I was in 20 years ago, found myself by the Ganges and studying, living like a hermit and studying the science of yoga and the ancient, most valuable in a sense, heritage of India, the spiritual heritage that we don't really know much about. There was a story that I read there, which I think is absolutely relevant in this context, and so I'm going to present it to you. In 32,000 BC, so there was the Raj of the Aryas, there was the Raj of the Aryans, and there were sun worshippers and there were devas. In that family was born Rudra, who just thought differently. He did not believe in a lot of the rites and rituals and the yajnas which were performed then. In fact, he said that what is really important is to know one's own self-knowledge, gain self-knowledge, know one's mind, which would be called meditation later on. Rudra was also the founder of Damru, as you can see in his hand. So he created it and he played it, and he understood the vibrations that sound creates, which would be called Nada Yoga later on. And he actually developed speech for the first time and found 4 frequencies of speech which are again related to the vibrations the sound creates. Rudra also studied and was a master of the science of reproduction, the Prajnan Vigyan. And he wrote a 1,000-page book on what was the oldest Kama Sutra, in which he actually brought the Prajnan Vigyan, it gave it a spiritual form. He said that because the sexual organs are the reason of all reasons, they are the most powerful and they need to be worshipped. So he actually brought about a lot of ideological changes, and there were Rudras that formed, and a whole set of Rudras started to live in an alternative way of thinking. Then there is Albert Camus, who says, I rebel, therefore I am. So he was known as an existentialist, but he opposed that. He said, no, I'm not an existentialist, I'm just a philosopher. And he wrote this brilliant treatise, a book called The Rebel. He talks about, says of course the rebels are original, no two rebels are the same, my way or the highway, and metaphysical rebellion is one in which man protests against his condition and against the whole of creation. The rebel will not accept the condition he finds himself in. So we are going to go back in history and look at a few rebellions that happened and the changes that they brought. In 1948, the August Kranti Divas is celebrated as August Kranti Divas. So it was a do or die mantra which Mahatma Gandhi gave, Quit India movement against the British Raj, and which they actually succeeded in. And as you know, that the Day of Independence is still celebrated in India every year. In France, Napoleon ended monarchy by actually getting out Louis XVII. In America, the biggest revolution, the most famous revolution happened between 1765 and 1783. And here again, the American colonies revolted against the great British dynasty and overthrew them and formed the United States of America. Now, if you think that only humans revolt and animals don't, check this out. Napoleon's biggest defeat, in fact, came when a horde of rabbits attacked him. He was actually trying to capture some rabbits for a celebration when he won against Russia and signed a treaty there. But the rabbits instead attacked him and he had to flee. This is the Battle of Waterloo in 1807. So even rabbits say we won't have it. You have people who rebel even individually. You see a lot of dictators have come about in Russia, in China, in Germany. But on the other hand, you also have a different kind of rebellion, which is a teenage rebellion. Now there is the story of a girl who had the wit, had the charisma, had the intelligence, had the looks, but she did not accept authority. She did not accept the old-fashioned norms and ways of being, and decided she wanted to be independent and live her own way. This girl was absolutely against the norm going on at that time, where a woman could best stitch a button on a men's shirt who were actually the breadwinners. Women could only have children and raise them. But she, as you would have it, went on to become one of the highest paid entrepreneurs who also acted in a movie called Ashiki, which actually allowed her unconventional looks, her free instincts, and her orthodox ways to be not only accepted, but be applauded, become the rage of the day, and start a new trend. The press or the media announced Anu makes it on her own terms. But here's where the question is, was Anu really happy? After victory, after all this rebellion, living life her own terms, being a young achiever, was she happy? It turns out that exactly the opposite happened. She was the unhappiest ever. And she left the world, went to the Himalayas, and started to study money. Here's where she started to understand that division of mind is in two layers. There's the higher mind, which is the observer, the watcher, the seer, which is pure intelligence, and that has discriminatory awareness. And then there's the lower mind, which is actually the logical, the reasoning, the doer, the analytical, the performer. And this is where I found for the first time that I had been living all along with my lower mind acting. And this is where I understood that actually in the education that exists today, we are not taught the higher mind. We are encouraged to live with the lower mind. Performance, competition, give a logic, have debates, win it. We don't know how to be just a silent observer. We are not taught that. Later on, with what I had learned, I would actually start a foundation and start to teach them, educate them on also the higher mind along with the lower mind. Because if there was a balance between the two, then they would receive a much happier world. So here you see some children from, so we've already done what, 5,000 children. I'm so proud of that and so happy to tell you that. So this is just a young achiever. I was unhappiest when famous. I was materially the richest. Then I found wealth within. In my give back time, I share this miracle for the benefit of all. Happiness is addictive is what I found working with the children. Because when you make even just a bunch of people happy, they make everybody else around them happy. And their parents started coming and telling me that how the whole scenario in the house has changed. So you change an individual, you change the world. And today I want to ask you this, that do you think that what is it that you should do the most? Should you try and find intellectual freedom within you, revolt inside you with your own demons, and find the truth and the knowledge of how to be a higher being at the same time as you being a lower being? And I think that's what I'd like to end with. Thank you very much.